Kenya Moore. Kenya is my favorite housewife, and I think she an Aquarius, and she be having everybody fucking mad because she just a bad bitch, and I love Kenya. That might be problematic for some of y'all, but Kenya is the baddest bitch. Kenya.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering The Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know what it is. You know what time it is. This is season 16, episode 5, and it is the grand finale. Thank you for coming over to my channel. Please support this video by liking this video. You can share it. You can also leave your comments below. Let's do some dialogue. And if you are new, I invite you to go on and hit that subscribe button and turn your notification buttons on and get into my discography or Googleography or YouTubeography, whatever it is. Let's get into this episode. Okay, so this is what's up for me. I'm Team Twirl. I'm Team Twirl forever. And I have a lot to say. That's never going to change. There's nobody that's going to dumb me down for whom I'm rooting for. I'm not a Barb. I'm L. I'm L train. And I have my own opinion. And I know how to lift up people. And I know how to correct people and still move on. Some of y'all don't have that capability. So anyways, let's get into this episode. I'm starting with Angela because we need to get to the real stuff. Angela, which is really real too, I'll say that about Angela. Angela's got a lot of meat for this season. And I can see her here for a lot of seasons if the show lasts this long. Like, who knew all this family drama was going on? Some people act like she's not real. I just say that there's just one thing that all she got to be honest about, I'm cool with. Anything else, whatever. She's giving us her life. This is episode 5, and she's given a lot thus far. She's just getting caught up in something where she hasn't been totally honest in. She goes out to this coffee shop with her eldest daughter. I forgot her name, but the eldest daughter is looking to open up a coffee shop. She wants to open up one that's like a Peruvian style place. So they get to talking, and the daughter is speaking in regards to what's going on at a house that Angela bought their mom, sister, and her daughter. If I'm being clear, at least the sister works there, or not works there, lives there. They got into it, and it was to the point where the daughter's auntie, Angela's sister, got in her face. Whatever happened, we don't know. She didn't describe all that. And Angela said, I didn't know about all of that. I knew that there was some type of thing that happened. I think grandma was supposed to be there. That is Angela's mom, but she did not show up to this gathering. So that's when the daughter started talking about what's going on. But Angela said she wasn't clear. She wasn't clear on everything after the whole brawl, which wasn't anybody getting into an altercation as far as physically. The mama and the auntie ended up having a mad day, and they ended up telling the girl's business, the daughter's business, that she was secretly married. I said, what? She's 24. Angela describes their relationship as if they are best friends. Yet, the daughter decided that, for whatever reason, she was not going to tell her mom about it. And she was married for 4 months. And she's not understanding why that she was not allowed to share in this type of important information. The daughter is kind of really playing it off. I felt like in the moment that the daughter was kind of manipulative, because all of a sudden she got these tears. She already sees Angela in tears, and now she's in tears. Someone has commentated on either Angela's lying about the relationship that she has with her daughter, or there's a possibility that there is isolation that is happening with this daughter, because there's no way that someone that has such a great intimate relationship with someone does not share that information. Y'all take it how you want. Either Angela lying or this new man is a red flag. But I mean, if Angela's, well, you don't have to have a close relationship, but if Angela's paying for all this stuff, Angela does describe, for a long time, we were all we had because her daughter's baby father passed away. Not baby father, her daughter's father passed away at age 6. So I'm kind of leaning more towards Angela, but y'all can tell me what y'all think in the comments as to what's really going on. Yeah, because that was kind of the end of the conversation, because now the daughter wants to have all these tears and she wants Angela to move away from talking about that. So Angela has another conversation as she's getting ready to come to Kenya's grand opening. She has a conversation with Charles, and she brings up that Portia was suggesting that she knew some stuff on him. And Charles, being Charles, is like, look, stay in your own lane, basically, and nobody bothers me about whatever they think they know about me. Like, basically, bring it if you're going to bring it. And you're not going to like the response. Now, Charles is not going to respond like Peter Thomas, Portia. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. Because I believe Charles is going to give you dynamite if you come at him. Just leave him alone. That's all you got to do is leave him alone. But I do need to be invited over to dinner there because I need some of that chicken. My God. My God. That's some golden brown chicken that I need in my life. How about y'all? I'm hungry. So now I'm gonna back it up. Shamia invited Angela over to her home. They squashed everything, and now they're trying to get to know each other on a deeper level. They didn't really get far on their deeper level because also Britt was invited. Britt had no makeup on, and she's like, I didn't really rest that well last night. No. They get into the whole altercation that happened last night. That was last night. So, they get into a little bit with Kenya. Now, it's a little bit different than what the trailer was saying. In the scene that you saw, we don't see them talking about the pistol stuff. We see them talking about, you really went too far, and it's a lot, and Kenya's not liking that. Did she say? She said that she felt threatened by what you were saying, but we didn't hear pistols. Did y'all hear pistols during that part? At least I don't think so. I said we, but maybe I should say I. I didn't hear that. But then she said, oh my God, I did not, I swear, I did not try. I do not want Kenya to feel intimidated. That's not what I do. I'm very sweet. And I just hate that part of me came out of me. Are you sweet? Or you got another part or another side to you. They were talking about Kenya was cutting her off. We didn't see that part. Whatever that is. We find out that Angela's the one that wrote the question. And Britt tried to say, Angela had my back. She really felt like how I felt that Kenya was doing with me. Angela said, no. I was just backing you up as to how you felt. I don't know what you're talking about. That's that manipulation. That is a manipulator. So Angela's the one. Angela, she is, I'm calling her sneaky, but not this villain type of sneaky, but she stirs the pot. And she's been doing it really since episode 1, episode 2? So I ain't mad at it, are y'all? However, it spun out of control. I need to understand why Drew had a question too. When everyone's acting so confused and don't know where Britt's coming from with this whole situation, Kelly said, I don't know what's going on with Britt and Kenya. I don't have that experience. So, I don't know. Anyways, we leave that scene. Kenya, Portia, and Kelly, they come by. Kenya Moore hair spot. What they're doing is getting different models to come and be a part of the event, and they're showing off these models. And it was parallel. Do you remember when Kenya first started in season 5, where she was at Cynthia's model search for Ebony? Coochie crack. So it's interesting that the same episode that entered her, or made her, that's how she made her entrance into the show, is the same way that she's kind of exiting the show. So after they got done doing that, they talk about the incident. Portia's acknowledging, Kenya said that she heard Britt say pistols and all that. Kelly said, I didn't hear all that. I do feel like Kelly is lying for her friend at the moment, because that they broke up. They're not friends no more. But they were besties before the show. Kelly takes up for her and says, I've never seen her act like that. I don't know that. And King is like, just show me once. I'm paraphrasing. All you gotta do is show me once. I don't know that. But I'm like, Kelly, you're sitting up here acting like y'all been real sisters. Y'all done fought it out. I mean, have y'all got mad at each other? What's been her response? What's been your response? None of that stuff's going on. You're saying, oh, I never... No, you can't say that. You can't judge that, and you just can't say, oh, why don't you say, I'm surprised that even happened? Because I haven't seen that type of behavior before. That might be better instead of trying to act like you really know her. Because all it seems like is very surface level as far as your friendship. Y'all see each other out, and the most that y'all actually seen each other is you've been filming on this show. And that broke up very quickly. So there's no way that you guys were real friends like that. But Kenya said, look, I'm taking the threat serious and all that, and I'm going to do my own background check. A light bulb came up, or lit off, whatever you want to call it. Do you see that or hear that? I am going to do a background check. From those words coming out of Kenya's mouth, you cannot tell me that production was not in on what Kenya had going on. Not saying that they produced the receipts. I'm saying that they knew exactly what Kenya was going to do. And they may not even know everything that she was going to display, but she did. People that signed NDAs were taking pictures of the stuff. And you don't know production when you're setting up cameras and you got all the angles and stuff. I really hate that Kenya was not taken serious. Kenya already went to production about this, and they paid her dust. And it feels like in this episode they were playing cleanup and also turning the script to make it seem like they don't know where this came out of. Why Kenya did this, basically. She could say what she wanted to say, but there was no reason for it. And I just beg to differ about that. And we'll get into more of that. Are there any other scenes? No. And y'all lied last week on social media saying it was going to be a supersized episode. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this scene, and I think this is part of the cleanup. I do not feel like this scene was authentic and it was happening in the time sequence of the events. Portia and Britt meet up. Portia actually mentions the pistol stuff. I take full responsibility. I was wrong. I should have never done that. Like, nobody's asking her why. Nobody's asking her. It's just like somehow what Kenya is saying, Britt doesn't even know the magnitude of what she was saying and how people can feel when that is done. All you just say, I'm taking responsibility. I feel like Britt is full of ish. And since I'm she's full of shit. I had to wait at least 10 minutes in. She's full of shit. We saw the real Britt Edie in episode 4. That's who she really is. So all this crap, no. all of a sudden Portia has this extra. Why wouldn't Portia tell Kenya, hey, I had this conversation with her? That's not making any sense. Not saying that was going to stop Kenya from doing what she did, but it lets me know that y'all ain't been There's no way that she communicated to Kenya that I talked to her and she was, no, y'all didn't. And y'all were a part of the cleanup. Okay, so the day of the event, everyone's arriving. There is a purple carpet out there, very celebrity style. Kenya comes out in all her good purple. I don't know what Shamia has on, but I knew that last year. Like, what? What? Miss Lawrence, who started out before even Kenya was on the show, came. They had a few moments of talking, and Miss Lawrence gave Kenya her flowers and all that good stuff. They just sat down and had a good little time. So many people came, we know. And there's a lot that has happened. We got the preview from that blogger that people said sweats. And if you've paid attention to the gossip circuit and the climate, you know exactly what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. So anyways, we get this other scene with Kelly and Britt driving, or they're in like one of those Sprinter, I don't want to say vans, but it looks like a van, I don't know, to come to Kenya's event. Now we find out that Brent's aunt has passed away. And anyone that knows me personally, y'all announcing any type of passing away, I'm very sentimental and I don't break down, but I do get teary-eyed. All I can say, Britt, I'll just say production. Production, you are so crafty. So now we're supposed to feel more sorry for you. She's like, I was dealing with all that, and then also dealing with this Kenya stuff. You know, I know I was wrong. So everyone thinks that Britt is taking accountability. Everybody is boosting her up to come to this event, show up, give her flowers, and everything will roll over. Because y'all weren't threatened or had at least something to the effect of somebody trying to threaten you. The event starts. We don't know everything that went on, blah, 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 blah. We see Manietta. We see Kenya's other friend, Akila, that was on last season. Da, 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 da. Drew finally is in the scene. She wants to talk to Portia. She's like, hey, do you want to talk now? We haven't, as of yet, still kept caught up. Portia's paying her dust and was attempting to sun her. If you saw how that conversation was going. Portia says that Drew was doing all this stuff behind her back and she was learning more stuff and she was being sneaky. I still don't know what she's really done to you, lady. It's not adding up. But did y'all notice that Drew was about to start talking about Simon stuff? Because she was fed up with this crap. But then Portia walked away. Cynthia was there and she was trying to say, you know, why don't y'all just squash this? And Portia's like, you weren't there. So, Cynthia gets filled in on what Britt did to Kenya. Cynthia said in an interview last week that she didn't know anything about it until she watched the episode. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Then, let me see what I want to talk about. The festivities happen. Britt and Kelly, they get off the bus. Britt has this bouquet of flowers and she's attempting to get Kenya's attention and Kenya's ignoring her. She rolled her eyes as soon as she saw Britt was coming in the door. And it wasn't 2 seconds later that Britt said that I'm leaving. Kenya had already proceeded to get the mic and she began to talk, but Britt said, I'm leaving, and Angela said, you tried, but everyone was telling you decline it. Britt, why would you come to her event and acting like flowers was just going to smooth over that type of situation? I don't understand production and what was going on through their minds. You set up this season for failure. Kenya has their part, Britt has her part, production has their part. And I don't give a crap how much you want to highlight what Kenya did. but we're going to get into that in just a second. So, Kenya starts talking about Britt and how she's been treated by Britt. I didn't do anything to her, and she wanted to threaten me with a gun. So I went to do my research, and I found out who she is. Who is this hoe? She brings out all her surgeries that she done had. Wait now, the pinch nose. We keep talking about Angela, but let's talk about Britt. All the cosmetic surgeries. She moves on to displaying her video girl vixen stuff. At this point, Kelly's like, no, I'm out. You're not going to do that. No, causing this big display. Britt was still hanging outside. Kelly comes outside and meets her and said, no, I don't really want to do that. You know, I'm not going to be there when they're disrespecting my friend. Kenya brought out the next slides that, according to Bravo, they were erotic in nature, meaning you could see some stuff. Something like this. I gotta be shady somewhere in this. Even though it's online somewhere, it's not locked away in the key. Nobody gave her Kenya anything as far as, ooh, give me what you have in your phone. Nothing like that. You can find it. She was Stevie J's protege. She was Rick Ross's hoe. She was Yo Gotti's hoe. So it looks like she messed with a lot of rappers. Of course, she's cleaned up her life, and now she only is dealing with country club men. Okay, so she did that, and people were immediately disgusted. This is the part I kind of needed, because I didn't know how they actually felt. We saw all the footage by that woman that we're told that sweats a lot, the harasser of Kenya and the rest of the cast of Roa, that isn't Nene Leakes, on YouTube. But we really didn't know what was going on. And these folks just broke their NDAs and all that good stuff. But Portia was like, I don't want to be a part of this. Let me get on out of here. It's too far. They said, Kenya, no. I guess other people in the audience were like, oh my God, you know. But the cast kind of just had a straight face, like, no. So everyone just decided to scatter. Cynthia stayed behind and said, look, I think that wasn't right. You didn't have to go that low. I love you, and we can talk later. And Kenya was like, okay. She did say a little bit of something. Well, she did something to me, and Cynthia said, it don't matter. We'll talk later. At the end of the episode, I think Angela, Portia, and someone else were standing by each other, and then she was just really not want to be featured on camera, and she was trying to tell production, you can just say that I wasn't even here. Cool. All right, here is my final remarks in response to everything that happened. We'll start with the whole production of things. I will say this. I can't say that I fault Kenya for doing what she did. I can fault Kenya for where she did it at. And she made it too big of a production to me. Meaning this. It may have been better if it was between at least the cast. You had press there and all that good stuff. I don't know if press was all up in there at the time, but y'all were still leaking stuff and lying. Kenya, you said you spent over $400,000. You didn't even know if you could really make it. It wasn't the place. Many have said it overshadowed what was going on, and I get it. I don't fault you in retaliating. You were not acknowledged. I know what it feels like to be not heard and not acknowledged and not to be taken serious. Now this girl trying to act like, oh, this is not me, that was not my intentions. Save it for somebody else. The real Britt Eating showed up in that episode, all because she was called a peasant on a reality show that she's a fan of. And she's a fan of Kenya Moore. Um, technically, you let Britt have the power. I think that you thought it would go over better and did not think it thoroughly out. I think you should have left it at when you said, I pay her dust. And you should have done, even though I don't see it for her, Giselle. Remember season 6 when she said that she was going to come after Karen? I'm going to tell your drunk truth, your cheating truth, your lying truth. And she said, I'm not going to tell it all tonight. I'll spread it out. Remember that? I think that would have been much better. You should have left it at that whole and really continued on with your festivities, in my opinion. And then really kept Britt on her heels for the rest of the season. And you just start sprinkling stuff out. That's how I feel you should have done it, because it wasn't it. What Cynthia said, I'm not mad at. I can't. That's a friend that says, no, you're better than this. You're better than this. And now I'm going to flip it again. I go back and forth because, again, I know what it feels like not to be heard. No one's taking you serious because you've been the big bad villain and you're supposed to take whatever anybody gives you. That's bullshit. Bullshit. I had an incident in high school. I had a person bothering me. And I'm not going into all details right now. So I went to the proper people. They did nothing about it and said, ignore it. So, since no one was hearing me, I had to make a statement that I could be heard. So, I ended up damaging this person's property. No, I didn't key their car or smash in their windows or egg it or whatever. But I destroyed something of his. He wanted to fight me, but it didn't happen. At that point, I went to the principal's office and all that stuff, and they finally heard me out. Nothing happened to me. Something could have happened to me, but when you're not heard, stuff could happen. People who get bullied can turn around to be mass murderers, as we have a lot of that documented. Kenya already expressed that she's never felt protected. And in a moment that you've documented that this wench had said, I got pistols and whips. And you were going to respect me. You did nothing. And the reason I don't feel sorry for you, Britt, because next week you're going to be cry me a river because you lied on live. You said, I take full accountability. Like, and then and some people are falling for it online. I said, she lied. She lied. She said she never did that. It was, she was bullied. She was hazed. She thought this person would welcome her in. No. She lied, and she still got to keep her job. That's what pisses me off a lot. If anything, both should have been fired or suspended. Had to sit down just like you did with Portia and Kenya all that time ago. Why can't you do that? I don't get that. You are mad at the action, but aren't mad at the cause, and you just chalked it up as little panty ante stuff. Britt and Kenya only knew each other for 3 weeks, and 3 weeks in on the job, she says, I got pistols and whips to handle you. And I am, of course, paraphrasing. If you are at your job and this new beat comes in and starts talking about pistols and whips, and they are gone. But some reason in Bravo land, it's not taken serious. Why not? You have put people in a lot of weird situations, Bravo. All of a sudden, Candace is violent because she ended up throwing a butter knife on the ground that wasn't even near Ashley season 4. But this is so bad. Someone tweeted and I retweeted about somehow we went from you're a disaster on the internet to now accepting whips and pistols. No, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am. But only certain people get punished on this network. Only certain people. I teared up because it's like, Kenya, now you took it to hell. You took it to hell. You took it to hell. And you did something that nobody else has done. Even though Jersey kind of was on that level, if you really think about how they did Danielle Staub. Danielle Staub is the closest to anybody that should feel bad. But for some reason, Danielle Staub was a punching bag to these ladies. And she got sick of it and she quit on Watch What Happens Live. I teared up because I didn't want this to be the end for you. I forgot who it is, but there's a lady that has now picked up for Kenya Moore Hair Spa, and it's going to help her with her PR and all that good stuff to help get this business celebrated. If I find it, I'll mention it if I watch next week, or if I review next week. But this lady who's well known out there, I forgot her name, but it was on Instagram, so I have to remember. But anyways, Kenya, I still love you. And Britt should have been fired along with you if we're going to go the route of being fired. Bravo and Truly Original, y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all could have handled this in such a different way. You could have turned this whole situation around, but y'all don't have no type of crisis skills or whatever you want to call it. You know, you don't. Truly Original, you've been around since the beginning. The beginning of Housewives on Bravo. You don't have any other type of skills at how to navigate to help a group of ladies or a relationship to kind of get back. Nobody's telling you to be a psychiatrist, but you documented it and you ignored it. And I don't like that. And y'all are scum. Y'all are trash. And you know I don't like Truly Original. They are trash. Look what y'all did on Potomac and let Mia run around being chaotic. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. She got to attack Wendy and still film, and it took her almost to the end of the season to want to even apologize, as she alienated the person she attacked. Y'all didn't step in for nothing. Y'all are whack asses. Kenya, you are better than this. You're smarter than this. And I know that you had better ways to get back at her. But it's out there now. And I care less on what Britt Edie feels. You're a liar and you're a manipulator. You even you had an Instagram story or whatever saying, I'm still here, and you had this gold championship trophy and then a chess game marker symbol. I said, oh, okay. And then Portia gonna comment under there, you're still here, or something to that nature, with fire and all that stuff. I said, oh, so you're gonna align with that. Okay, Portia, okay. But you were up and down Kenya's social media after the incident in support of her. There are some content creators I've lost respect for and how you've done this story. And now I see you in Kenya's message that she had. And now I see when y'all got the inside scoop. You may not know everything, but you had inside scoop and you still treated Kenya dirty. And it's not fun anymore, so I don't want to do this no more. You mean to tell me, I'm Team Britt, I'm this, I'm that. I watched you. And I'm talking to a specific person. I watched you even before this season do what you do towards this show. And then you tried to black guilt us to watch the show. And then you were playing all these trolling games. I don't understand why Team Twirl was... You see where he's at. Or she is at. You see where they are at. And I'm just disgusted. And now, you saw last week's episode, and now, I don't want to do this no more, as far as being a troll against Kenya. One person, I understand. They've been Team Portia forever and a day, and they have not liked... I don't have them. I don't care that they have. Obviously, they see something different, and I think that they are more integral than some other people who's actually friends with that sweaty blogger. that harasses this cast. Very negative. Anyways, Kenya, I love you. I support you. I can't get my hair done. Maybe I can do this pop art. Who knows? If I ever go to Atlanta. This is my review. And basically, fuck you, Britt Eating. They let a fan on this show yet again. I know I'm vulgar, but oh well. Y'all get over it, because this is not my normal way, but I'm going to express what I want to express. Fuck you, Britt Eating. Truly original. And Andy, you're taking a spot that I don't really like. I don't really like. And I don't know if there should be a Bravo awakening, but some type of awakening. If you do have a discourse on what's allowed and not allowed with Bravo, let us know. Because you letting this other woman come back on your show that has not been accountable for spreading RAPE rumors. How you gonna replace one that did quote unquote revenge P with someone that will stick RAP rumors on someone and doesn't have to clear it up? Y'all really smart over there. Anyways, that's it. Let me know your comments. Britt, let's see if you claw out of this. I can't see you actually moving on to another season. And keep moving arrogantly, as I saw last summer and into the fall. I've watched you and how you've been, and you're a liar. Y'all took her side, and she was lying. She lied, and bloggers helped her lie. Content creators helped her lie. Y'all have a good day and a good night. Peace.